What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Boleros. Sam here with the Sultan of Sando, Mr. Gab Lim, and kita nyo naman, wala si Mr. Maui up. Not just because natalo Ateneo and he couldn't make it, but he's off somewhere celebrating a wedding. So, shout out to
Mahina
Mr.
pa rin ang
Maui.
internet niya sa isang resort sa Bohol. So, if you watched our last episode, you know what we mean. He is unable to say anything on the podcast. Ipawala-wala siya. But, Sammy, I don't want to start this off. We are never saying Ateneo is back ever again. We are never having that title.
For those who don't know, the last time Ateneo won against Salle, the main title of the podcast was Ateneo is back. And ever since then, wala pa silang napapanalunan na game. So,
we're sorry, Ateneo. You know, I do believe in the Boleros jinx. I do believe it exists. Because it has happened like many times. I'm trying to recall, well, the two interviews we've made, the two-player interviews we've made.
Mm-hmm.
The list I made of breakout players, yung naniniwala talaga ako sa Boleros jinx. May jinx
Teka lang.
talaga.
Baka magalit yung mga Lasal listeners natin because our title for this episode is Lasal is back! Lasal is back! And we're going to talk about that. But before we do have a word from our sponsors. Cap, take it away.
This episode, actually this season of Boleros is brought to you by our friends from Varsity Lifestyle Co., the official merchandiser and outfitter of the UAAP for the next 3+ seasons, hopefully. So if you want to rep your school in the coming games, the Ateneans, you probably not. but for the other schools, such as the DLSU Green Archers, who are on a win streak, the Adamson Soaring Falcons, who are on a win streak, the UP Fighting Maroons, who are now number 2 in the standings, maybe you'd want to purchase some shirts, caps, hoodies from our friends from Varsity Lifestyle Co. And if ever you're gonna check out, don't forget to use our code Boleros to get 10% off your order. So check them out. The link to their website is in the description below. Just input the code Boleros. Right before you pay, and you will get 10% off your order.
Okay, sakto.
And sorry, Sam. Do not forget, if you do want to put an additional style to your fit from Varsity Lifestyle Co., maybe you're interested in purchasing some of our Boleros caps. We do have one other colorway, the pink one. So Sam is wearing the dark brown one. I'm wearing the beige one. So get yourselves school neutral. So from whichever school you come from, you can wear this. Diba? If you go to two schools, you can wear this. School neutral. School colors.
Para kahit talunan yung school mo, hindi nakakahiya suotin.
Like what you're wearing now, Samson.
I
love that you can laugh about it, you know. I mean, we've been watching basketball for so long. We can laugh about losing. It's fine. Anyway,
let's talk about the winners. So, first, I think they do deserve a mention. The LaSalle Green Archers, they're back after horrific games. The
2-3 start.
Yeah, after losing like 2 starters before a few games ago, now they're on a winning streak. They've beaten really good teams.
Contenders.
This team is contenders, guys that are ahead of them in the standings in UP and now UST. This team looks different. They look like they're fighting for something. Grit and grind. I think ang sinabi mo, Gab, what did you see from this game? Specifically yung LaSalle versus UST game yesterday.
Different style of basketball from what they were playing from their first 5 games. In their first 5 games, they made an effort to really run a lot, get quick baskets, quick offense. They barely played any defense, so they were the second leading team in terms of points scored behind UST. They made an effort to really run and give opportunities to their talented offensive players. But now, a very different LaSalle team, Sammy. Since the UP game, they are slowing it down. They are switching up defenses, and they're playing mostly zone for the past 2 games, which is something I never thought I'd see from the past 2 seasons under Coach Topex. I think majority they've played man-to-man, maybe because they can match up you man-to-man with majority of teams, having Mike Phillips, having KQ, and their bevy of perimeter defenders. But now, with how shallow their front line is, it makes sense that they are going zone. And they went zone a lot against UST, a lot. And they slowed the game down, made UST uncomfortable. Took some notes from the Adamson soaring Falcons, scouted UST pretty well when they played Adamson. This UST team is not comfortable in a slow grind out game, and that's what LaSalle did against UST. They purposely tried to make UST a half-court team. And it worked. It worked. And the other thing that is pretty different about this LaSalle team is what we always call the others. LaSalle has their stars. In the past few years, it's been Mike Phillips, KQ, and Evanelli when they won the championship. Now, you know who the top 2 guns are. It's Mike Phillips and Jacob Cortez. But they did not need big games from Mike Phillips and Jacob Cortez here. I think Jacob only scored 12 points, had two rebounds, 3 assists. Mike Phillips only scored 6. Very modest games from both those guys. But look at the others. Look at the box score. Look at Makalalag scoring 18, which, by the way, just needed to take off the mask and he could shoot again.
Sabi ko sa'yo, I think I said it in the previous episode, he looks bothered by the mask.
He definitely does. I mean, now that he can shoot like this again, I'm guessing the mask
Don't put it back on.
Yeah, don't put
JC
it back on. You're not Rip Hamilton, JC Makalalag. So you're not the mask man. But and look at the other guys: Gulyena, Marasigan, Abadam, even Gillian Kines, who I don't think I've seen play
First
before.
Time pa lang ata.
Yung this season got a quick 5 points. Perfect from the field. I think one of our subscribers said that he's the only guy who's perfect from both 3-point range and 2-point range for the entire season since he made both of his field goals. Sino ba ba? LeBron James Daep in the fourth quarter making big shots. Hook shots, a drive to the basket. You know what was really impressive about these others? Sila yung nagpamatay sunog sa UST. Look at the fourth quarter when UST was threatening to come back. It was all the role players making shots. It wasn't Jacob Cortez. It wasn't Mike Phillips. It was the others. I think when UST cut the lead to single digits, there was an Abadam 3. There was a Dungo yung 3-point play. There was a Makalalag layup.
Then
when it was cut to 6, EJ Gulyena back-to-back threes.
Yep.
Role players, everything role players. I think I'm not willing to say that they are a better team without Mason Amos or Kean Baclaan, but it has definitely had an effect on the role players because I think
nagising sila,
Sammy. Plus one, they know they're getting more shots. They know they are getting more opportunities. Kasi dati, with the Big Four, or you can call, the Big Four with
Big Four, yeah.
Si Kean, si Jacob, si Mason, and si Mike Phillips. You know that majority of the shots were going to those 4. I mean,
makes sense. Like kahit tayo, that's what we expect.
And the scraps will just go to the role players. But now, since nawala yung dalawa, there's a lot more usage to be had for the other guys. And actually, if you're a role player, and I've been a role player on teams, when you know you're gonna get more shots, you're kind of hyped up. The ball finds energy. Diba? When you're being asked to score more, let's put it as it is. Scoring hypes up players. Diba? You
course.
make a basket, it gives you energy. And when you're getting the ball more, when you're getting more touches, you're more inspired. You're more inspired to play. You work harder, and I think that's what's happening to the LaSalle role players. They are inspired. They are playing harder. They know they are gonna get touches because the focus of the offense is going to Jacob Cortez, is going to Mike Phillips. So they know that they are gonna get their points. They know they're gonna get their opportunities. Actually, Sammy, kailan ba yun? Nung second quarter, when they broke the game open, I think they went on a 12-0 run to open up, I think, 18-point lead or a 20-point lead in the second quarter. I don't think none of those were scored by Cortez and Phillips. It was all an Abadam 3. It was a Makalalag 3.
Boris din ata eh.
And a Boris Manasigan athletic finish. Well, I think Jacob had a jumper, but majority role players, the others contributing for this De La Salle Green Archers team. And I think that's been the big difference. Kudos as well to Jacob Cortez, Sammy, because since the UP game, I said this. It's easy for Jacob to say na ako yung main playmaker, I'll do everything. Diba? Because honestly, he can. Because he can just run pick and roll for himself. He can try to do all the plays, but he doesn't force anything. Since the UP game, actually, the defense was all on him. He was comfortable letting his teammates do the work, letting his teammates do the scoring. He was comfortable being a decoy. He's comfortable setting up his teammates. He doesn't have to score. Actually, I don't think he wants to score that much. I think when you're tasking him to be like the Jacob Cortez from the UE game, in the fourth quarter, he just went bananas and just took over the game. I think when you ask Jacob Cortez to do that, baka maubusan siya for an entire game. So, kudos to him. He's becoming a true point guard. I think he's up there with Fortsky and Janre as the best point guards so far this season. And I've been really impressed. You can't speed him up. That's what's most impressive. And I've said this already. You pressure him to no end, you will not change the way he plays the game. Very, very reminiscent of guys like Luka Doncic, like Jalen Brunson, like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. You pressure them, they will not speed up. They will play their game. They will play at their own pace, and that's what Jacob's doing. They look amazing so far in the past two games. Their defense has definitely stepped up. They will slow the game down, and I think that's what you would expect for the rest of the season from De La Salle. I don't think you will see a La Salle team that will try to run or pace and space their opponent, but you will see them put out so many defenses. There's a notion that Coach Topex or the coaching staff of La Salle does not know how to coach. Where the fuck did that come from? Just look at how many defensive sets they used on UST in this game. In the second quarter or in the first quarter, they used Mike Phillips at the top of the zone, which was insane. At the top of the zone, and you can't...
Actually, akala ko mali yun eh. Parang, mali ata yung position ni Mike Phillips. Bakit siya nasa taas?
Oh, di ba? But it worked. I think it forced a turnover, or it was very difficult to pass to the top of the key where you usually want to rotate it from, yung from the zone. And they use so many different... They use a 2-2-1, they use a 3-2, they went to a 2-3, they went to a 1-2-2 trap, they went to a 2-2-1 trap. Ang dami nilang nilabas na defensive sets, and that put UST out of their game. At in first half, UST was just out of sync. They did not know how to attack from in a half-court offense with shifting defenses every possession. So I have to give credit to Coach Topex and his staff. He does know how to coach. I don't know where this notion came from that he does not know how to coach. He does. And I think he outcoached Pido Harencio. So kudos to LaSalle. They are back. No, we're not trying to jinx you, LaSalle. We're not trying to jinx you. We just really think after a 2-3 start, you look like contenders again. Kudos to you.
Is Coach Topex safe? Mas safe na ba siya ngayon? Kasi we were talking, siya yung isa sa mga hot seat coaches natin. Diba? We'll talk about maybe the other coach later. But is he safer now?
I think he's safer now. Pero ang malaking bagay para kay Coach Topex is feeling ko nanonood siya ng Boleros sa amin. Because we did mention this in our
Sino bang hindi, di ba?
Oh, sino bang hindi yung nakikinig sa Boleros? We do wanna yun one of our points when we did our swak sacks o sablay around 2 or 3 episodes ago. Sabi natin LaSalle should not be a running team kasi they don't have defenders to defend on the other end, and they're sloppy when they run. So we wanted them to slow the game down because in the UA game, they won by slowing the game down. And feeling ko nakakuha ni Coach Topex yung message na yun because ever since the UP game, they have slowed down their pace. They have tried to grind out games. And I think that's going to benefit them in the long run. They look like they're back. Which is insane to say, yung coming off 2 massive injuries, but I've been impressed the past 2 games from the DLSU Green Archers. Sammy.
Yeah, you pretty much covered everything. I think what I love about this is everybody's stepping up, diba? All the guys are stepping up. I think most of yung scoring din ni Makalalag medyo early And then later
First
on...
quarter, I think he had 14 points.
Parang double digit na nga siya yung naalala ko din So, and then later on, may stretches si Voris Marasigan, may stretches si Abadam, and then you mentioned si Golyena at the very end.
First half pala siya yung 14 points. He made 4 threes in the first half.
Okay. And then si Golyena ended it with 2 very clutch threes. Maganda yung sinabi mo about...
But got called up for faking a foul after making those 2 threes.
By the way, that was an obvious faking a foul call.
That was obvious. That was...
Nagreklamo pa si Golyena na parang, that was a foul kay Cabanyero, diba? That was the post-up, tama ba?
Yeah.
Come on, Golyena, malaki ka din. Labanan mo.
That's like a Mick Penisi level of flop.
almost. Ibang God level yung flop ni Mick Penisi God level. And LeBron James I was surprised, diba? He had like a bad turnover the previous games, but Coach Topex has confidence in him, and siguro yung gusto ko din i-bring up about Coach Topex is what you guys always say is he's a player's coach. He really gives confidence in his players. He likes to play them, lets them play kahit na they make mistakes sometimes. Alam mo naman let's say, a coach like si Jeff Napa, medyo tougher on his rookies. I like that LeBron James Daep is getting some reps. This guy's getting some reps. And si Kean was the surprise pick siguro nung game against UST. Going to UST, Gab, are you surprised na with how good they started off? Now they're sort of back down to earth, losing to Adamson and to LaSalle.
I'm not surprised because half court is not their forte. Yung half court game is not their forte. I think that's pretty much how you would try to play UST, try to slow the game down. And for the majority of these 2 games, these 2 losses, they've struggled from 3. Their shot has abandoned them. I think that's a big thing. They shoot a ton of threes, and if they can't make them, because LaSalle was daring them to shoot, honestly, with their zone defense. Like, go ahead, shoot threes. We're not letting Collins Ahoe have a monster game. Despite having 20 and 14, it didn't feel like that Collins yung dominated this game. that's important. Especially in the Adamson game, they could not get their shots to fall. And I think that's a big thing if you're UST. If your threes are not falling, you're not opening up the floor for Collins to get his dunks, for Collins to get his easy baskets. Uh, the other thing is, in this game, they shot Ateneo / LaSalle levels of free throws. 4 out of 14. They couldn't hit anything. Now, majority of that, I think, was Collins Akoe. I think he shot half of their free throws. Couldn't make any. So, yeah, that's going to be difficult. If you can't get your points from the outside and you can't get them from the free throw line, you have to be adamant that you have to get into the paint and score against zone defense, which is very difficult because the zone was trying to prevent you from getting to the paint. So I think USC is fine. They definitely have to work on their half-court offense, and they definitely have to lock down yung defensively. I think LaSalle got too many fast break points plus paint buckets. So it's interesting. It's very interesting so far because UST is not scoring as much as they were. And I think teams will try to do that more, to slow down the game, to make it a half-court game so that UST will be forced to execute in the half-court, which is not necessarily their strength. Sammy, go ahead.
For UST, kinakabahan lang ako every time Collins Akoe goes to the floor. I think there was a moment here where I think Akoe and Nwankwo fell on the floor, tapos Akoe was in pain during that time. So I think that's the one that I'm worried about for UST. Like one minor injury to Collins Akoe and they're sort of done or cooked because they don't have any other big man that they can play to replace Akoe.
They actually don't have a bench, to be honest.
They don't have a bench. That's true. That's true.
It's mostly their starting five, and with Forsky shooting like this, I mean, he was 1 of 8 from the field. It's gonna be very difficult to find production from the bench, and if Paranada's not doing anything, it's pretty difficult. But when their offense is on, it is beautiful to watch. It is exciting because they shoot a lot and they score a lot. But when you try to slow them down and you try to make them execute from the half court, it kind of turns to isolation / pick and roll basketball, which we criticized yung Coach Pido for last season. Diba? It was too much isolation. It was too much pick and roll, less isolation. Yun lang. It's becoming that if you're playing a half court game yung with UST.
Okay, before we move on to the next team, any final notes?
Siguro some notable notes yung from this game. Si Collins Akoe gave You Can't See Me celebration. I don't know if you saw that, Sammy.
Alam mo, si Collins Akoe is he likes to taunt. That's what I'm gonna say.
He does.
Like, he loves staring down people. He loves flexing every time he makes a play. He better be careful.
I don't mind it. I don't mind the John Cena You Can't See Me celebration. It is John Cena's final year, I think, with WWE. So thank you for the tribute, Collins Akoe. Siguro another note from this game that I found funny. Diego Dario called Ivan Calum a rookie. And I'm like, what?
Tao lang naman si Diego Dario. We love him, pero tao lang naman siya.
Oh, tao lang naman. Pero he called Ivan Calum a rookie. And I was on the podcast, I'm like, what? Ivan Calum's been around for so long. He's been here.
Yeah, parang third or fourth year na niya.
Oh, parang third or fourth season na ni Ivan Calum. Like, what? Rookie? Yeah, he looks young siguro kasi he's small. Pero rookie? Come on. There was also a great call here by Boom Gonzalez. Sammy, I don't know if you caught it. si Ivan Callum was going on a fast break and it was 1-on-3 or think or 1-on-4 and then boom goes uh, it's Ivan Callum with 3 defenders and he does not care. What a
I
great
remember that play, pero hindi ko naalala na sinabi niya yun.
he
That's a
did
good
he
one. That's a
called
good
it.
one.
Tawan-tawa ko ron. He does not care.
Dapat tumigil ka na nun. Nakita mo, 3 defenders eh, di ba?
Oo nga eh, wala eh. Si Ivan Callum yung all the way eh. I think si Mike Phillips mga isang bantay nun, pero he still went all the way. But he doesn't care, call. I have to give props to Boom. That was funny and iconic. And he should use that more. Boom Gonzalez has been around for a long time, and I've listened to Boom Gonzalez for years now. So the fact that he brought that out right there, I think he should use that. That is really, really funny. Go ahead, Sammy.
Yeah, I guess for me, just to end, I think if you're a LaSalle fan, this is what you want to see. Coming from those two injuries to your starters, they could have waved the white flag for LaSalle. It would have been acceptable, I would say, or okay, especially if you lose two of your main guys. But I love what I'm seeing from this LaSalle team. They're fighting, and I think si Coach Topex deserves also some of the credit, as you mentioned, Gab. He is safer now. If you're a LaSalle fan, you're still excited to watch the games. What's interesting is you don't know who's going to show up. You definitely Jacob Cortez and Mike Phillips will try to impact the game any way they can. Jacob only scored 12 points, but you can see yung playmaking niya. And I think it was you or si Maui who mentioned na underrated defense. I think here also he had a couple of defensive plays. I think a couple of good
He and
steals
Fortsky
din.
are underrated good defenders. I would say.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't do the in-your-face, lock you down type of defense, but they are smart. They will.
Smart. Yeah, that's
They
the
know how to play the passing lanes. They know how to tap balls away. They know how to play. They know how to position themselves so as not to be taken advantage of defensively. So good point there, Sam.
Yeah, I think napansin ko kay Jacob is like he really likes to bait you into thinking na oh that's a safe pass and then he just comes out of nowhere and steals the ball. I've noticed I think dito merong Akoe tried to drive and then kick it out tapos naagaw ni Jacob Cortez. Sabi ko that's a classic Jacob Cortez steal or play. Anyway, yeah, that's what's exciting about this team. Even though they lost two of their starters, it still looks like a formidable team. I think they still have a good bench.
We did say, Sammy, they are deep. So when people ask us, are we panicking about LaSalle? Do you think they're not going to make the final four? We're like, no. We're pretty optimistic. I think they are still
One of the
contenders
deepest teams when they
because
started
they're
out.
deep and they're filled with veterans on the perimeter. So I never once believed that they were not making the final four or they were not at least challenging to make the final four. I still think that they have it in them to contend, and you saw it here.
Yeah, so uh, actually that's where I was gonna get at. I think big difference if you look at like how good this lineup is, even without your two starters, versus the next team that we're going to talk
Wait lang,
about.
Sammy. Before we go on, I do have some additional notes lang. On the UST side, I've been very disappointed actually with Koji Buenaflor. I was very excited yung for this kid coming into the season. I thought he had a rotation spot. They desperately need bigs.
Wala namang
But,
ibang big eh.
oo nga eh. Yun nga, so I thought he was definitely gonna get minutes, maybe behind Colin Sapawe or as a reliever for Jello Crisostomo, but he's been, I don't want to say terrible, but he's not getting on the court. And whenever he's been on the court, sometimes nagkakalat siya eh. And he's pulled quick by Coach Pito. So, I don't know, I had him as maybe an underrated Rookie of the Year candidate for this season. But with the way he's playing, he's barely getting any minutes. It's been a disappointing rookie season for Koji. I was looking for for more yung from Koji Buenaflor. So, yun lang. Sammy.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point. Kasi against LaSalle, you saw the other guy who was a rookie for LaSalle, LeBron James Daep. I mean, you don't expect a lot from him, but he's actually contributing one way or another, diba? Like, lalo na in this game. And LaSalle has more bigs than UST. So, I think yun yung medyo surprising that Koji can't even crack this roster. But yeah, that's a good point. I think nung start, actually, like, he was getting minutes pa eh. And then,
Nagkakalat siya eh. Yun eh.
Yun lang. Yun lang.
Coach Pido does not have patience with rookies.
I'm too old for this shit. I'm too old for this shit.
Another note, Sammy. Wait lang. Just another note.
Go.
They were flashing on the screen former UST players. So I think si
Kevin
Jerry
Ferrer.
Cruz, si Kevin Ferrer was there. I was so hoping that Aljon Mariano was there. The King Archer. I was ko, please, Aljon, you could. Coach Pido is your boss now in Terra Firma.
Actually,
baka
support
naman
your boss.
Baka naman magka-attend ka ng LaSalle UST game. I was sobrang nag-hope ako na i-flash nila si Aljon na naka-cap lang or naka-hoodie nagtatago somewhere. Pero sana na dun si Aljon.
That would have been perfect. Shout out to UAAP memes. Yung sabi nilang finally Aljon in green looks looks good or something
looks
like that.
Good. Looks just right.
Looks just right. Oh, that would have been perfect. Let's make it happen. Aljon, come on. Next, magharap ulit ang LaSalle and UST next time. You better come. Okay, let's move on to the next team that we're going to talk about. A team that is also hobbled with a bunch of injuries to their starters. But unlike LaSalle, they have been losing. And it's our team, Gab. The Ateneo Blue Eagles. They are definitely not back. Losing again to the NU Bulldogs. They were leading up to the third, and then NU clamped down on defense, had that 6-point swing middle of the third quarter, and never looked back. Anong nangyari sa Ateneo natin, Gab? Anong nangyari? Is it the Boleros curse?
The Boleros curse, and I think they are the front runner right now for Bolero of the season, Sammy.
Actually, sinabi na ni Maui, they're looking like the UE of last year, and that's sort of perfect right now.
Yeah. So
really hot start, and then
they're looking like two teams from last season, Sammy. They're looking like the UE Red Warriors from last season. Hot start and then spectacular losing streak. Or they're looking like the NU Bulldogs from last season. Because without an FSA, they are exposed and they are having so many problems without an FSA. Because like NU last season, they found it difficult to play without an FSA. And Ateneo is finding that out the hard way. What happened in this game? After the 40 and 32 lead to start off the third quarter, I thought, wow, okay, Drew Bongo, you made a three. Finally, we made the three. I think it was 1 of 23. Yung sabi ni Maui, diba? It was 1 of 23 yung coming into this game. And I thought, okay, at least kaya. And then I don't know what Coach Jeff Napa said, but they definitely made an effort to go into the paint because they tortured Ateneo in the paint. I think Coach Jeff Napa called the time. I think it was 6 minutes 25 left in the third quarter. I'm trying to remember yung what I saw yung in the scoreboard. 6 minutes 25 left, 40-32. The game ended 66-50. Ateneo scored 10 points the rest of the way. They, as you said, they clamped down on defense and they made it a point to go inside the paint. If you look at the statistics, Ateneo, you nearly match them in nearly every single category. You say second chance points, fast break points, perimeter points, starter points. Halos pantay eh. Pero you look at the points in the paint, 34-10. 34-10, and it showed in that run, in that 34-10 run, since that 40-32 lead by Ateneo. I think only 6 were from the perimeter. It was a Humamoy 3 and a Paul Francisco. Paolo tuloy. Paul Francisco 3 yung from the corner. Those were their only perimeter shots in that run. Everything else was inside the paint or yung or from the free throw line by getting into the paint. So, fairness to NU, they knew that Ateneo didn't have a rim protector. I mean, they don't have any.
I think everybody knows that. No.
Everybody knows that. So they're going into the paint. They went into the paint over and over again, and Ateneo just got killed. And I want to give a shout out to my boy PJ Palacielo, because he was amazing passing out of the post. Now he didn't score much. I think only scored 7 points. He had a hook shot, and then had a putback, I think, in that run. But his passing out of the post, he's been doing this since he's been amazing since the UP game. His playmaking really has blossomed since last season. We did not see this, this vision, this playmaking yung by PJ. I was so amazed, and he was a big reason on why NU separated themselves by a big margin in this game. Defensively, I do want to give a shout out to Mark Parks. I thought his defense was incredible. His on-ball defense on Dominic Escobar, on Jared Bahay, on Sean Toaño, on Wake Espina, anything. He was there, and he will not go away. You drive past him, you try to make a moves on him, he would move his feet, he would block the lanes. Ang galing. This is one of the guys that we said was a baller of the preseason. Remember, Sammy?
Yeah, I was gonna
diba?
say
Because he found a role with this NU team. The past few seasons, bangko siya eh. Bangko. He did not know where to be. He did not know what his role was going to be. Is he going to be a scorer? Is he going to be a three-point shooter? But he's not really a shooter. But he found a role as a defender, as the Sean Ketevis of this NU team. And I think that's why he's getting minutes. Now, it helped that Paul Francisco was in foul trouble earlier. But
Santiago was out also.
Santiago was out, and we'll talk about that later. I think he's getting suspended. But I have to give a shout out to Mark Parks. He's been playing really well. He played well also in the UP game. Definitely one of the feel-good stories since the preseason. A guy who was on the end of the bench, and he's now finding rotation minutes in a still stacked NU roster. On Ateneo, they can't make shots. I mean, they had good looks in that when in the half of the third quarter, you get into the fourth, but they just couldn't make shots, and they sorely lack consistent play creation and shot makers. Jared Bahay, I think he's playing way less than 100%. I think if you were watching him these past 2 games, he's definitely not 100%. His shot, Sammy, is the way usually he would shoot it from here. He's his shoulder, he cannot support, so he's shooting it from a lower position. It's definitely in his head that he has something in his shoulder. I think he had a fast break earlier that I'm sure he could have gone for a layup, but decided to just back away and just find a trailer. He only had one defender ahead of him. I'm not sure if because his shoulder was bothering him, he didn't want to get any contact from a layup. But he's definitely not the same Jared Bahay. And there are times he's just playing off ball. He doesn't want even to play the main ball handler at times. He started this game, but he got subbed right away. But by Ian Espinosa, I don't know. With the way the season's going, if I were JB, I would sit out and just make I think Maui said this too in our chat. Make sure that he's 100%. Whether it's through a surgical procedure on his shoulder or whether it's through more rehab. Because wala eh. He's definitely not helping at all on Ateneo's offensive woes. He's afraid to shoot, and he doesn't want to shoot at times. Um, and if teams find that out, they're not gonna defend him as much. So I don't know. I think right now, I don't think Jared Bay, for one, I don't think Jared Bay is that type of player. I assume as long as Ateneo still has a chance, he will play. I've heard as much from within the team that that's the type of player that Jared Bay is. So I don't think he's gonna do this. But if it were me, I would just sit out Jared Bahay and try to get him back to 100% because he still has a whole future ahead of him. So you worry about any long-term damage to that shoulder because it's obviously not where it's supposed to be or not at the same level as where it's supposed to be. The other thing that yung from this game, Sammy, I think Ateneo just lost another player. In Jaden Lasso.
I was gonna say, parang mas kailangan pa bigla si Bahay ngayon because Jaden Lasso got injured, non-contact. Diba? Nadulas lang.
I know. Nadulas and grabbed his quad or his hamstring, I think. So, I don't know. It's malas. Yun lang masasabi ko. It's a string of bad luck for the Ateneo Blue Eagles. The Divina Dili injury has definitely been massive. They lack any front court depth. They lack rim protection. They lack inside scoring, which ideally you could have given. The ball creation that they were getting from Jared Bay in the first 6 games actually of this season has disappeared. And now they're down another point guard. Literally, si Ian Espinosa na lang yung only last point guard standing. And it's not looking good. It's definitely not looking good. I was kind of hoping that UE would pull off the win against Adamson, which we will talk about later, because I'm not optimistic that Ateneo can even beat this UE team with a healthy Precious Momo wave there, and Precious Momo will freaking dominate the paint.
They barely beat them last time.
I know. So I didn't want Ateneo to be the first win of UE, but it seems like it's moving towards that direction. And their depth is wala na yung depth nila with these 3 injuries. And I don't know. They're not back. Yun lang masabi ko. They are not back. We are never using that statement, that title ever again.
They're back to being not back.
Actually, the reason why they're not back, Sammy, is the game earlier was very reminiscent of the Ateneo Blue Eagles from last season. Diba?
Yeah.
With barely any shot making, barely any play creation, and they struggle to defend the paint. Diba? Last season, they didn't play any bigs. It was Christian Porter who was their center. And they got pummeled in the paint for most games. It's the same thing here. Since now si Kimani Ladi is 6'8", but he's definitely not a center. You could see that. And he's been struggling as well. He got off to a good start pa nga yung in this game, si Kai, but just couldn't sustain the shooting. And he was given good looks. Even botched a wide open layup at the end game. So he's been struggling for the past 5-game losing streak, and they need this offense because they don't have much right now, especially with the absence of Adili and the less than 100% of Bahay. So I don't know. It's not looking good. It's not yet over, but I'm not optimistic, as I said in our previous episode. Sammy, go ahead.
Okay, I want to start off with the winning team, the NU Bulldogs. I can't believe you did not mention MVP candidate Jake Figueroa, who dominated this team once again.
I wanted to leave some points for you to discuss din.
Ang bait mo naman, Gab. Thank you. Such a gentleman. Who dominated Ateneo once again. I think he also scored like 17, 18 points the last time they met. Every time he got the ball, kinakabahan na ako eh. Kasi parang okay, nobody's going to stop this guy. He's going to drive to the lane and make it. So he top scored for the team. Also grabbed 15 rebounds, I think. Meron na naman yung mga shots, Gab, na pinag-usapan na natin last time where he would just jump over everyone. I can't believe how high this guy jumps. I'm still amazed.
Reminiscent of 30 Ravenna. Diba? 30 would do this.
That's
he
a
would
good comparison,
sky for
actually.
rebounds.
Yeah.
Diba?
Yeah.
And Jake does this also. Wow, he jumps so high. Go ahead, Sammy.
Yeah, that's a good comparison. One thing, he dominated Ateneo, and actually, I think this is his. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not really like 100% sure, but I think this is the first game na he didn't make a three, but he didn't need to. He didn't need to because he scored in other ways. He still had an efficient game. If you look at the other MVP candidates, guys like si Pasaol, even Nick Caballero, they didn't have that great of a game this weekend. Jake Figueroa has been consistent. So I do want to shout out this guy. Just I'm amazed at how good he is this season. And I think I forget who mentioned it. I think si Boom ba yun, or who covered the game, but they also said that na parang this is a different Jake Figueroa from last season. If last season to, you wouldn't see him like making those plays. So kudos to Jake Figueroa. I'm really rooting for him. Honestly, I'm really rooting for him to win MVP, be a high school and seniors MVP for the UAAP.
That would definitely hurt the Adamson fans or the Adamson side.
Yun lang.
He was from there.
He was from Adamson. Yun lang. Let's talk about Jello Santiago later. I'm moving on to Ateneo. Just some notes. We saw Lars Fjellbang. He hit another 3. So I want to see more Lars Fjellbang. I'm surprised he only played 4 minutes. But I love seeing this guy. Without a center, I think we have to play him. And it's good that you mentioned na Ateneo starting to look like last season's team because yun din yung gusto ko sabihin na observation eh. Now they're left with, assuming Lazo is injured, they're left with Ian Espinosa as their only point guard. They had trouble last season with the
only point guard
rotation
at 100%. Because
at 100%.
See,
Just
JB
like last
still
season.
playing, but
Just like last season, Jared Bahay was injured all throughout the season. We're relying on one rookie center. Last season, it was Porter. This season, Kimani Ladi is playing out of position, but the legit true center natin is Lars Fjellbang and Kyle Ong, just like last year where we had rookie center and Kyle Ong.
The parallels are uncanny.
Diba? And it's frustrating, but I feel like this season is way more frustrating than last season. Kasi last season you sort of
Kasi yun na paasa tayo
expected it eh. Exactly. Last season you expected na okay, this is not going to be a good team. Preseason pa lang alam na natin. This season, they were actually decent nung preseason. Medyo nagtago sila, so na-excite pa tayo lalo. They had a 4-game winning streak, started 4-0. We saw
they beat LaSalle.
They beat LaSalle. We saw the makings of a potential contender. They beat LaSalle. They have a complete lineup. They have an FSA. Jared Baez is healthy. They have actually other bigger guys. Ladi was playing at power forward. Si Dom Escobar was playing the wing. It was so exciting. It's just I think that's what makes this season for Ateneo sad and frustrating is kita mo na yung potential nila, but it's not translating after all the injuries.
Through bad
this
luck
is
din.
Why
Yun nga yung masakit eh. Bad luck. Halong malas.
And I wanna compare them to LaSalle, who has bounced back actually after experiencing those injuries. And I want to go back to what Maui said, and what he always says is, two of the most important positions, big man / yung FSA position mo, and the point guard. With LaSalle, they did lose 2 of their starters, 2 of the big 4. But if you have Mike there, you have Jacob there, and a solid supporting cast, that's all you need. Mike and Jacob have been very solid for this team. Yun lang yung pinaka-importante doon. Compare that to like an Ateneo team. They don't have a big man. They don't have a center. They don't have an FSA. They're down 2-point guards now. At least, hindi sila 100%. So, that's a big problem for Ateneo. And what's worrisome is you don't know, hindi mo alam kung ano yung solution. Unless Divine Adili, may divine intervention kay Adili and his back miraculously recovers. It's tough. It's a tough watch for Ateneo. Yeah. Other notes, Gab?
Nothing much. Yung let's go to Jello Santiago. I said earlier, I think he's getting suspended. That was a dirty play. I have not said that to even si Welo Lingo-Lingo. I wasn't even sure if it was dirty or not. Maybe he was just really diving for
you
the ball.
You did say it was reckless for Welo Lingo-Lingo.
Yeah, it was reckless. I
think.
didn't say it was dirty. I think si Kean Baclaan went out and said that he didn't think it was dirty. So maybe it's just reckless. But this one, that's dirty. He is getting suspended. He hit Waki Espina in the head with Waki Espina's face on the floor. So I don't know. That's a dirty play.
Would you say, so ngayon meron na tayong precedence kasi si Welo Lingo-Lingo got a 3-game suspension. Would you say Jello Santiago deserves the same 3-game suspension or even more?
You know,
over-under mo.
I think under. I think he'll get 2.
2?
Because kay Welo Lingo-Lingo it looked worse because it twisted. Baklaan's knees went the wrong way.
Yung knee niya no?
Like, if
kahit na reckless lang. Kahit hindi sadya.
Pero honestly, ang problem was is the UAAP did not really say what the reason was.
For the 3-game suspension.
For a 3-game suspension. They didn't really give us a reason why 3 was the number that they decided on. So I'm not... Pero honestly, sorry. I'm backtracking on my answer. I think the UAAP will give less, but I think they should give 3, if not more, to Jello Santiago. Knowing how the play yung unfolded, I think they should follow precedence. Diba?
May nabuhay.
May dayo!
Papakita lang.
Sana mag-cooperate yung wifi. Okay, Gab.
Anyway,
so, pinag-uusapan namin si Jello Santiago Maui. That you know what we're talking about. So, Gab, ano sa tingin mo yung magiging suspension?
I would go with 3. 3 or even more for me. But I think the UAP will go with less. Because it didn't result like in injury like in Baclaan. Pero yun nga, I really don't get why 3 was a number they decided on. But for me, that was a dirty play. It was obviously intentional. So I don't think that there's any argument whether it wasn't intentional or not. But it obviously was. He meant to do it, and it could have caused. Now, I don't know kasi if the 3 games was because of the result of what Lingo did, because it resulted in a player getting injured for the season and that's why it was 3. Pero it could have resulted in a bad injury to Waki Espina. So, do you follow that? Because it could have resulted in a bad injury but didn't. So, do you have less? I'm not really sure where the UAAP and the commissioner's office will go with this. Maui, since dito ka, what's your take with the Jello Santiago incident?
Yeah, actually I posted about this in X and medyo marami nag-react from Salle and UP also. And just because of that, I think it would probably warrant a multi-game suspension. Uh, People are double thinking the injury of Mason Amos from Salle. People are saying intentional din yung undercut kay Fortea during their previous game. And you could give him the benefit of the doubt, but because of what happened today, siyempre, a lot of people are getting new conclusions. And just because of that, I think if the other teams also talk to the commissioner's office, it would really warrant a suspension more than one game. Maybe two games. Pero, I don't know, the commissioner's office has been unpredictable, giving out that 3-game suspension to Lingo Lingo and that 4-game suspension to Chris Gavina without explaining to everyone why it warranted 3 or 4 games. Diba? We usually get in the UAAP a single game suspension. So it was a bit I think a lot of
Shocking.
you it was a bit shocking, and a lot of UE fans are actually saying some of the fans who are pretty mad are saying bias daw ang commissioner's office when it comes to them. But I guess if they want, they should have explained. Diba? They usually explain why it warrants more than a game suspension. But for this incident, over the head eh. Actually, the announcers, when I was watching the game, they easily said that this could be at least a 1-game suspension. Very fast from when it happened. Not like in previous cases, diba? The commentators usually get to react once they see the replay, once the referees tell them something. Ito talaga, they didn't even, I think, when they said that he was probably gonna get ejected, they even said that a possible suspension
Yeah.
from this incident, which hasn't been the case, di ba? For
Alam na nila
some,
eh. Makita mo
yeah,
pa lang, oh, he's definitely getting
alam na nila eh,
punished.
di ba? Unlike in previous cases, di ba, Gab, na we were talking, especially during the start of the season, definitely the commissioner's office will review kahit ejected ka and you get 2 on sports collects. But this one, it seems like an automatic suspension. The question is how many games. Kung si Lingo got 3, I think Santiago deserves a 3-game suspension. Kahit sabihin mo it didn't result into injury, in my opinion, because this incident showed me intent, di ba? Yung kay Lingo
Oo.
kasi, yung kay Lingo, people are debating whether there
50
was an
eh.
intention. 50-50 di ba? So if that warranted a 3-game suspension, then I wouldn't be surprised if 3 games is the minimum that he gets.
Yeah, I think the problem here is yung welo lingo-lingo suspension eh. Because I think either one of you said it was too much. 3 games was too much. And since naset na yung 3 games na yon, this seems worse in the sense na may intent to harm someone, and yung like hitting someone at the back of the head without them knowing, parang mas malala eh. So if you think about like the gravity of the offense, this deserves more, or this seems like it's worse because of the intent. But since nag-set na sila ng 3-game suspension, parang, so does that mean this should be a 3-game suspension or more? I think that's the problem. Like if Welu Lingo Lingo was suspended, let's say 1 game instead of the 3 games, then maybe this Jello Santiago hit could maybe warrant 2. And I think that would be reasonable. The thing is, Welo Lingo Lingo got 3 for something that we're not sure if it was intentional or not. Paano pa to? Diba? I think that's the problem. Maui, since you just joined us.
Since you're
Yeah.
here, we just talked about Ateneo versus NU and how we're very down on Ateneo. We think Jared Bai should just pack it up and get 100% healthy. We think our title pala, Maui, is Ateneo is not back because they seem to be back to last season's team. So, you give us your thoughts. Sulitin mo naman yung pag-online mo. You traveled all the way back to your hotel.
Napatakbo pa ako eh, no? And it seems so internet is cooperating this time around. Yeah, I think I told you guys. I share the same sentiments with regards to Jared Bahay. If you watched the game a while ago, I, you saw his shots, diba? You saw that he was
Bitin eh.
mishandling the ball.
Hindi na sa top, yung sabi ko nga sa amin, hindi na sa top yung kanyang
Yeah.
release eh. Nasa baba
It,
na, he can't lift his left.
and there were times that if you were watching, Jared Bahay was, I think, mishandling the ball. Now you can give credit to NU, but if you watch kasi Jared Bahay usually has very good ball control. Diba? It's one of the main reasons why he was at the top of the list, at the top of the turnovers, assist to turnover ratios. Diba? The number of assists you have versus the number of turnovers in layman's term. And I think he's not 100% clearly. And the fact that si Coach Tab hasn't been playing him his full minutes, I think just shows that Ateneo is just in desperate mode of trying to get him in the game. Because Ateneo plays a different style of basketball when he's there. The offense is just more organized. He is more of a threat than Espinosa. He's more of a threat than Lazo. I would say even just because he has playmaking along with some three-point shooting. But with the divide deal situation, maybe it would be wise for Ateneo to sort of look at Divine. And if Divine cannot really return at 100% or even at 80%, then maybe it would be time to consider Jared Bahay getting surgery. Kasi I think he would need not just on one shoulder. I think he would need for both shoulders. Diba? And the UAP season will end around December. Diba? And the next season will again begin October, September, which is 9 months away. You don't want Jared Bayo on the sidelines when you're trying to build up for the next season. So I wouldn't be surprised. Maybe Ateneo gives it a game or two. If they still continue to lose, get that 6-game, 7-game losing streak. I can't even believe I'm saying that. But if it continues, if Ateneo continues to lose consecutively and really falls down sa standings. I mean, somebody even posted that if FEU had upset UP, Ateneo would have been seventh by the end of the day. Diba? So, I share the same sentiments. And I think one of the things that Ateneo has to do is play Lars Felvang more. I think they have to give him more minutes. With the injury of Lazo, maybe get Nieto and Gamber some more minutes. Because we don't know if we'll get one and dones for next season. So might as well start developing these guys. Diba? Kasi it's still different. The UAAP is different from off-season games. I think si Gamber is a perfect example. Gamber was so good nung Asia Basket. Gamber was comfortable nung preseason, but maybe the rust contributed, not playing so much during the start of the UAP season, but his look rattled. He's committing a lot of turnovers. Very rusty di ba? Kasi he hasn't really played that much. So yeah, with Ateneo, I think if they continue to lose, I would give it maybe 1 or 2 games, then they have to go full rebuild. Kasi Kimani Ladi, Escobar, Lazo, these guys will not be here for Ateneo for the following season. So if it's a lost season, might as well just develop the young core. Diba? But I just want to say also that people should understand, the fans of Ateneo should understand that the reason why we say on this podcast that FSAs are and point guards are important because they are. Diba? You look at a team like NU was one of the bottom teams last year, and now they're at the top of the standings with Omar Jan, with an FSA. And Omar Jan is not even probably the best FSA, diba, in the UAAP.
It's a good comparison, Maui, kasi NU is essentially the same team from last season.
Yun lang yung dinagdag mo eh, si Omar
Yun lang
Jan,
dinagdag nila, si
yung
si Omar Jan.
And if you look at yung maybe si Figueroa grew a lot also in terms of like his overall game. But if you look at the lineup, if you look at the usage, if you look at the minutes that the players get, it's mostly the same from last season, diba? So NU is a very good example. And it's one of the main reasons why the UAAP has decided to do FSA substitutes, diba? Come season 89. So I think maybe give the team some leeway. yung Ateneo. I mean, there's a reason why we started 4-0 and now we're at 0-5. It's getting harder and harder for Ateneo to compete. Also with Jared Bahay not playing 100%. And the FSA slot and the point guard slot. I mean, there's a reason why historically these are two of the most important positions. And coincidentally, the same time Ateneo started to struggle was when these two players got injured. So yeah, but of course we have to give credit, diba, to a team like NU. NU has played on a different level. I think NU, the only team that has really rattled NU is UP. And if we look at the games against UP, if they played well the
The
first
only team
quarter,
that really rattled NU is NU itself because UP is just NU also.
di ba, kasi if we look at the two games against UP, the first game, they won all three quarters, the first three quarters. If you look at the second game, they won the second to the fourth quarter. So if they just played some sort of resemblance to the other quarters, then they could have won those games, di ba? NU has without a doubt been the best team in the UAAP. Everyone says it's UST, but I think NU has UP has been the only team that has shown yung vulnerability ng NU. And there's no coincidence that they're doing this. Maybe Ateneo can look at the playbook sa NU, diba? How to be better once your FSA gets healthy the coming season. They can use this time to train, diba? Getting used to not playing with an FSA. Yun.
Okay. Ang haba. At na-feel ko yung pain ng konti yung ni Maui. Kahit na alam ko na busog yan, yung galing sa masarap na dinner.
Kahit kumain ng pizza, pag Ateneo natalo, masakit pa rin.
Yeah, let's go with some random notes siguro for Ateneo NU, and then we can go to some notable things from the other two games. I think for the Ateneo NU game, I think si Coach Sandro Soriano, he was I noticed he was more active in this game. Siya yung mas nakatayo all throughout. Usually si Coach Tab yung nakatayo. Coach Tab actually sat down for big part of this game. So I don't know, that was something that I noticed. I'm not sure if you guys noticed it, but
it was occurring din naman sa amin nung first few majority of the first round si Coach Sandro Soriano at talaga yung nag-play call eh. Parang siya yung main call. Deputy ni ni Coach Tab. So I don't think it's anything new, Sam. It's been happening naman since the start.
Naisip ko lang because like Maui mentioned, like maybe it's time Coach Tab lets the younger guys do it. Play more minutes. The other guys play more minutes. Especially if they start losing. So the thing is, like, I'm not sure if Coach Tab will punt this season kahit na wala na siyang chance. He will never do that.
Kahit last year when
try to win every game as
when
much
we were
as
so
possible.
depleted, when Ateneo was so depleted last year, no chance
So
of punting.
that's the problem. So I'm not sure if he'll give the younger guys some playing time. Other notes siguro before we move on to the other
Sam,
games.
But we've been seeing, di ba? Gamper has been playing more. Lars has been playing more. Nieto has been getting minutes. So maybe it's something a trend that's gonna happen.
I think si Lars Vielvang definitely the
earned.
guards maybe because of Lasso's injury. We'll see. Wala pa tayong balita kung ano yung magiging injury ni injury ni Lasso.
Yeah.
Gab.
Some other notes. I finally found a working water fountain in QPAV. I was so damn thirsty. And I had to move around and like I asked the guard, saan mo ba yung fountain? Then for those who watch in QPAB, it's there in the car park section.
Dun sa side nung car park.
Sa side. May gym dun sa labas. There's a working water fountain. And I was able
so
to
bababa ka pa tas lalabas ka. Yung parang covered court nila? Yung ba yun?
No, Sam. Kung saan dumadaan yung mga tao, yung may mini gym doon eh. May mga
Okay.
racks and
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, I remember
weights. Just go outside in the lower box section and you'll find some water. God, I was so damn thirsty. I'm like, I have to find the working water fountain. I finally found it. It works.
Speaking of
and it's
QPAV,
cold.
Speaking of QPAV, siguro another note sa game na to, Sean Tuanyo, who has been really good for the past few games for Ateneo, has been playing poorly whenever it's in QPAV. I think he hates that. I think Maui, you mentioned it. He hates that gym. So another not so good game for Sean Tuanyo in QPAV. Not sure meron pa bang QPAV games yung Ateneo. I have to check. But definitely not Sean's favorite venue.
Definitely not.
Maui, before we move on.
Yeah, I just have to shout out again si Figueroa. Kasi I did say kanina it was mostly Ateneo. Grabe, this guy, him and Caballero are different types of beasts. I think they're on the level of KQ and 30 when it comes to being a force on the basketball floor.
Yun din sinabi ni Gab kanina. Yeah.
Di ba? You can equate them to them because the game really changes on both ends of the floor when these guys are on the floor. I like how si Figueroa is and the Caballero has really learned how to play make. I think it will do wonders to their game. I think that will propel them to playing potentially in Korea or in Japan. I think perfect timing kasi I think one of the insiders from X posted which of the graduating give me three names from the graduating class of the UAAP who are suited to play in the KBL. So if I were to name two guys, I would say Figueroa and Caballero definitely.
Okay, let's talk about the other games. Adamson beating UE, now climbing up a spot sa rankings. They're above Ateneo at number 5. UP beating FEU, si Pasaol, Janray Pasaol. Ay,
Thank you, UP. Thank you.
thank you, UP. Gab, kanina, when you started, you talked about the Boleros curse. I do believe in that. We just posted a reel about Janray Pasaol and his LeBron-esque performance. UP clamping down on Janray Pasaol right after that post. So he had, I think, Maui, you said it, his worst game of the season. So, any quick notes on those games before we end the show? Let's start with you, Gab. Pili ka ng game.
I'm going to Adamson. I don't think we've given them much light and much spotlight for their 3-game winning streak. They have a 3-game winning streak. It helps that the 2 games were against UE. So it was UE, UST, and then UE. So, but they almost lost. They almost lost that game yesterday. As I said a while ago, I was low-key hoping that UE would pull it off just so that their first win will not be against Ateneo with how Ateneo is looking right now. So, but yeah, Adamson escaped with this win. And how did they do it? The same thing that they've been doing since the UST game, since their last UE game. They just slow the game down and grind it out. The key shot actually came from your boy, Maui, Austin Ronzone.
Austin!
When UE took the 50-49 lead, who made the corner 3? Austin Ronzone, your boy.
Maui. His only basket.
Austin's back.
His only basket. So, he can't make shots anywhere else in the game, but he makes them when they need it. So, shout out to Austin Ronzone. Siguro another note I had from this game is the Earl Medina had a really spectacular free throw. It bounced the back of the rim top of the glass, and then it went in the basket. That is one of the most amazing free throws I've ever seen in my life. So shout out to you, Earl Medina. For others, it was honestly it was the usual programming for Adamson. I was at a party while watching this game, so I was just glancing at the score. Tapos when I took a long glance, sabi ko, uy, less than 40 points pa lang yung both teams. Tingin ko, what? Fourth quarter na? That just goes to show you how Adamson really plays. Classic Adamson. Lagi na pagulat ako, what? Less than 40? Pero fourth quarter? Oh my God. So, shout out to Adamson. The OJ versus Precious Mamaway matchup was fun to watch at times. Huge blocks from OJ. So, nothing much new from this game. The result was as expected. I thought Adamson would definitely win this game. But I do have to say, this is the Adamson that we thought we were going to get when we ranked them at number 3 in our power rankings. We know that they can clamp down on defense. We know that they can. Yep, they're 4-4 now. I will not be surprised if they trip up a LaSalle, if they trip up a UST again, if they trip up a UP, if they prove you once again na mas malaki yung bird nila. I will not be surprised. I've been a stan of this Adamson team. I think they will battle for a Final Four spot. They're now at number 5. Long way to go. Crazy how the standings have turned out. Crazy.
Maui, any notes from the other 2 games?
It's hard to comment on the UPFU game because I think it was very one-sided. Maybe the score was they ended up winning only 14 points, but UP basically led the whole way. I think shutting down si Pasaol was the key to the game. Diba you mentioned
I think
Sam,
yun yung
si Pasaol.
biggest note, yeah.
Because if you look at the box score and if you were watching the game, si Konate was better than expected. Si Bautista was better than expected. Si Mungkopa was at par. But si Pasaol was the missing link. I think if there's a team that can clamp on a point guard, it's UP. Coach Tab, we've always said this in the past, UP as one of the best perimeter defenders. The UAAP, they have size, speed, anything. The combination of all types of matchups you could give. But if you were to ask me to comment on the other 3 games, I'd probably say yung LaSalle UST game was spectacular showing by LaSalle. I think LaSalle, should I say it? LaSalle is back. Maybe
That's the title, bro.
Hindi mo naabutan. That's exactly our title.
Yan yung title natin, hindi mo naabutan.
Yeah, we don't want to curse them, but I think this is the LaSalle that we were looking for. Even with Baclaan and Amos in, diba? We've always said in the past that when LaSalle has a lot of players scoring above 8 points, they're a dangerous team. And in this game, 6 players scored more than 8 points. And if you were to tell me that one of those players was not Mike Phillips, Amos, Baclaan, then this is a dangerous LaSalle team. And UST learned that the hard way yesterday. They didn't know who to stop. They didn't know where the basket would come from. I think si Gab perfectly said it in our group chat. Whenever there was a UST run, there was always a LaSalle role player answering the run. And the good thing about it was a different player every time. Diba? I think that shows how dangerous still this LaSalle team is. I think losing Cortez, losing Baclaan and Amos, of course they were a better team with Baclaan and Amos. But losing them has fired up the supporting cast. You can just see si Abadam is a perfect example. You can just see he's playing a different type of basketball. He's more aggressive. He looks for a shot. He doesn't just stay in the corner. Si Bakalalag was so aggressive. I think yung mask niya was really preventing him from playing his game.
Mm-hmm.
Just removing that mask, three pointers agad nung first quarter. And I think UST has to go back to the drawing board because they just lost their they just lost their second in a row, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
And
tama. Second straight.
and just look at Ateneo. If you can win 4 straight this season, it's possible to lose 5 straight. So UST has to go back to the drawing board, and they have to be better on the defensive end. I think they allowed too much easy baskets by Salle yesterday. Too many points in the paint, too many open 3-point shots. They have to play better defense. It goes back to that because we know naman that UST can score. 70 points by UST is easy, easy. They were averaging 90 before
Yep.
their last 2 losses, diba? So they have to go back to the drawing board and wala, this UAAP season. It's crazy. The standings is just moving up and down. Uh, and every team has to be vigilant of every game because one loss can really turn your season. And I think if there's any indication of that, it's the fact that yung UP also did what Adamson did. Diba? They shot a basket na they should have just run out of the clock. And it's because coaches know that the quotient could be crucial come playoff time. And that just shows how close it is, how deep, how the parity of the league this season, how close each team is. Di ba? 1 month ago or a few weeks ago, we were saying Ateneo was back. Now we're saying Ateneo has to reset and just
No,
play for
we're
next
saying
season.
Maui Ateneo is not back. That's also our title.
It could happen to any team. Di ba? It could happen to UST. What happened to UE last year? We could see Adamson go 1-4 but still end up with the twice to beat advantage. I mean, that's still mathematically possible at this point. So it's been a crazy season. They have to go back to the drawing board and forget the last 2 losses and hope that they end the losing streak and not copy Ateneo.
All right. I think that's it for today's episode. Magwa 1 hour and a half na tayo. It's been a crazy weekend. We saw Adamson go up. UP is now number 2. UST experienced back-to-back losses. LaSalle is now back. Ateneo is not back. What's going to happen this coming week? We don't know. That's how crazy the UAAP has been. And we're all here to talk about it. We're gonna cover all the games. So please, if you haven't yet, like the video, share this with your friends, subscribe. We'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.